Hello, hello, hello. Just wanted to welcome you or welcome back. This is a channel about cross stitch and my Etsy store. And my name is Bobby. And the store is Pumpkin Creek Prim. And my company is Pumpkin Creek Primitives. All right, so now that we get that out of the way. Always feels weird like to be so formal. In doing all that, but I feel like I need to so that people know where they're at and what they're doing. All right, so we had, actually before I do the drawing, I want to say, wanted to give my condolences to Amy at Sprinklestein Stitches. She lost her cat Grouchy. I think it was on Valentine's Day. So wanted to say my heart goes out to you, and I'm truly sorry, and I completely understand. So, okay, not gonna start off on the sad note, but I just really wanted to make sure she knew that we're all thinking about her, because we all love our fur babies, and especially when they're your only babies, it's a lot. So, yeah. Okay, so let's move on with the drawing. What it was full of was some XG Design floss pack and 46 count Bristol linen. And the color, let me open the bag. The color is Rocky Mountain. So that's what everybody was up for grab. And the word that you were to use was March. Because I had asked whether I should do March Madness. The people have spoken. I'm doing March Madness. I'll explain a little bit more of that a little bit later. So let's find out who the lucky winner is. Oh, that's bad if I can't even, okay. It almost was acting like I did not put in the right password twice, which is not true. Got scared there for a second. Hot Mess Express story time. I'm going to start doing it at the end just for the people who don't want to hear me mispronounce every word in the English language and do not want to learn something non-stitchy related. Then you can always tune out right before that starts. And all my people that love the Hot Mess Express, y'all just keep watching. All right. That's enough shop talk. Well, it's not shop talk, but Flosstube talk. Shop talk is coming. All right, so the word was March. There were 31 commenters. I'm going to hit start. And who won? Grace McCoy. And she said, please do March Madness. I need more projects to vote on and add to my wish list. All right, Grace. So my email address is below in the show notes. So just shoot me an email with your address so that I can get these goodies out to you. So yeah, congratulations, Grace. Let me get this where I need it. Turn that down. Flip it over till we need it for later. Y'all, I said before, she also carries 50 count linen, and I may get a couple pieces in here for anybody that's trying to be like almond M&Ms, because I know she's having a hard time. There's only a few places that actually carry 50 count and probably 46. So I don't mind carrying some of it if anybody's interested. Now, I will say the one thing that I think is funny is not everybody, I don't want to say that. A lot of people are fabric snobs. I'm a fabric snob when it comes to, I'm not going to go buy something at Hobby Lobby and use it. I mean, I've done that. So my snobbiness comes with, who's dyeing it, really. But there are cross stitchers out there that are a little fabric snobby, and it's fine, and they only want linen. And that's okay. And a lot of times it makes those of us who stitch on Ada feel like were not as good. I mean, Ada has feelings too. That's all I'm going to say. It does. But I put in 18 count Ada, 16 count Ada, 36 count linen, and 40 count linen in my shop of that XJU design. And you want to know what I'm almost sold out of? Ada. So just saying, there's a lot more of us out there, and we need to just get together with the Ada army and make ourselves known. All right, but stitch on what you want to stitch. I mean, that's the whole point of stitching. It's our hobby. It's to make us happy. If you want to stitch on linen, stitch on linen. If you want to stitch on Ada, stitch on Ada. Nobody should make anybody feel less of a stitcher for whatever they're stitching on, because all the pieces are absolutely beautiful. Doesn't matter. Okay, so that's enough of that talk. I do want to give a quick shout out to, and I know everybody's watching him because his channel is blowing up, but Darcy Cameron. He's the Canadian Josh Gates, except for he's not talking about travel. That's who he reminds me of, is Josh Gates. I don't know why. It just does. If you don't know who Josh Gates is, look him up and watch him a little bit. Cameron has, I think, or Darcy has a little bit more energy, but he's Josh Gates. But no, his channel, he's so funny. Now, if you don't like cussing, do not tune in to him. You will be very upset. So that is my warning. If you don't like the cussing, all the big words, don't tune in, because you're not going to be happy. If words do not bother you, you'll think he's hilarious. And I just like that there's another guy out there in the cross stitch world, and his wife does not cross stitch, which I think is so funny. So he's probably one of the lone guys, because most of the guys, I think, get into it because their wives are doing it. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe the guys got their wives into it. I don't know. But normally it's one partner is into it, and normally it's female in this craft. So I think it's funny that he's been stitching since he was like 12, 14, something like that. And then he normally does like Hades, and they're amazing. So does a lot of Alice in Wonderland type looking stuff. So yeah, should totally check him out. Okay, so check. Did my drawing. You guys, I have 0 haul personal. We've had snow and ice. So next week is going to look ridiculous because I did buy a lot of stuff. Just none of it made it here. We had no mail for days, which, nothing against the USPS, but I kind of thought the slogan was like, mail gets delivered, sleet, rain, ice, right? Isn't that what it was? Snow, whatever. It's fine. We're not equipped down here. I mean, I wouldn't want the guy wrecking out. He's nice. He takes my packages, so I'm not upset. Just it's going to be a bad day for him Monday. He's totally going to have to come to my house, drop off everything instead of leaving it at the mailbox. But it is what it is. So next week's haul is going to be a little ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, Amazon hasn't even showed up. So, yeah. I got cello bags I need packing fabric in, but yeah. It'll get here when it gets here. All right. On to stitchy stuff. So, I have a finish, guys. And if you follow me on Instagram, you already know, because I already showed it. But it's the little stitcher, the girl in blue. And it had a great story with it, which I actually did during a Hot Mess Express story time. But she is finished. I was going to put her real name on it, and I just haven't. I may still do it underneath. I don't know. I'm calling her finished for now because the pattern's actually finished. Let me fold that back. But yeah. So there she is in her glory. So it was a really fun fast stitch. I liked it a lot. I did substitute some colors though. The, let's see, while I'm holding it up, let me tell you. So one of the areas, I believe it is, which one would it be? think it's the vines, her hair, and where it says girl in blue. It called for DMC 869, and I used Gentle Arts apple cider because I didn't have DMC. And then, wait, is that true? I think I said that backwards. No, that's true. Maybe. Because they held for 3781, and I used maple syrup. And those two colors are kind of close. So, and then for the tombstone, they called for DMC 3787, and I used Garden Gate. And I just used it. I didn't I just pulled the thread off and folded it in half because I didn't want it too variegated. Her dress called for DMC 3750, but I used Gassed Freedom. And so, of course, you do get the variegation in that one. And that was just pulling it and putting it in half. So, I mean, it would have been way more variegated looking had I did it the way you're supposed to with pulling two threads and lining them up. So, and then the flowers are in the Freedom also. And then I did not use bright white. For all my secret for my white, because it looks really good on there, is I use, is it 3865? I have another project. I'll make sure. It's an off-white. But I mean, it looks white. So it doesn't matter. It looks right. So that was my finish. I'm not going to do it. She did it on a pillow, but I'm not going to do it on a pillow. I've got plans, but I don't want to say them yet because I don't want anybody stealing them. I got plans. I don't execute well. It takes me a while, and I have to get the husband involved because he's really the crafter in all of this. The man is, he's so talented. He's so talented. So I got to get him involved sometimes. That was Isis. The 3-legged run. That's a little louder than the normal run. When you only got 3 legs, it's a little tough running. It's like, bless it. So I only have one whip because I also have a new start. So this is my whip. It is, which is one that I've had carrying around in my bag forever that I need to finish, is my Pendle Hill Witches by The Primitive Hair. And I'm just going to go ahead and talk about, I think I've said in the past, like, I don't mind backstitching, and I don't mind backstitching. I don't mind backstitching at all when you're normally outlining stuff. It's no big deal. Freehanding backstitching, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's terrible. So her face looks like a hot mess because it's hard. It's hard. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's hard. So that's where I'm at. So I think last time all I had was her bonnet started. So I finished that and got her dress and everything and her little chains on her, and then started the tower down here. And that'll take me a little bit. I mean, this will be finished by this week. Because I mean, that's some pretty dense stitching in there. It's not, thankfully it's, sorry, I need a minder caught onto stuff. It's pretty dense, but thankfully there's lots of blocks. There's blocks of color. It's not too much confetti. Her dress was a little bit of confetti just because you had, the chains in there and then the brown coming up on the dress. But from far away, she looks fine with her backstitching, but I'll be honest, it's a hot mess up in there. But it's so hard to follow a pattern where you're going in between stitches and you're half crossing over a teeny corner of another stitch, and yeah, it was a lot. And I was not happy, but I was determined to just get it done. That way I didn't have to think about it no more. I am using the called for colors on that one. And my fabric is, that's why it's white on the back. Don't be looking at my stitches. They're terrible. But it's fabric flare and it's parchment. It's one of my favorite printed fabrics because I love how it just looks like it's water stained and dirty without me having to dye it or do anything. Makes it real simple. So I worked on that. And I'm going to get this one finished because I know I had a couple people that commented that that the fact that I had already had like 29 whips, did I really want to do March Madness? And I assured them that I was almost done at that point with Girl in Blue, which I have now finished. I will be done with this one and possibly done with a third one because the next thing I'm going to start working on is go back to my Ouija board. That's the gift from my friend Amy. Because I literally maybe have 4 hours worth of work on that, if that much. I don't even think it's that much. I just need to sit down and just do it. Just need to do it and get it done. And so that way, if I have freed up, yep, just putting words together. If I free up 3 of my whips, then when I start March Madness, I'm only gaining 1 whip for an even 30. So, right? Yeah, that's my philosophy, except for I did just do another new start. So it'll be 31. Damn it. Oh, well. I said I will always be stitching the little stitcher. So it doesn't count. My new start doesn't count. I mean, I just flat up lied on here. Like, yeah, then I only have 30. Then I'm like, I've got a new start. God. Okay. So I started the little stitcher. It's another one of the Legends of Halloween. It's the Headless Woman. Because, come on, who doesn't want to do that? I mean, probably half of you, but she's amazing. Whitney at 3 Trail Stitchers, we're unofficially doing this together. There's no hashtag, there's no nothing. It's just, we both have been hot and heavy on the little stitcher patterns. And so I asked her which one she was starting next because I was debating between 2 of them. And she said that she was starting the Headless Woman. And I was like, well, then that's what I'll do because that was one I was debating on. And I was like, and then we'll just unofficially stitch it together. Because, I mean, it's just fun, you know. But there's no hashtag. There's nothing. I mean, nobody needs, you don't have to join. I mean, you can join in if you have it and you want to stitch it, join in. But I also carry it in my shop. But yeah, it's just fun having somebody else to compare to. So I am doing mine on Jody fabric. It is 16 count coffee tea dyed blood splatter from Jody at Steel City Stitchers. It's her fabric. It's amazing. It's what I did the Elizabeth Bathory. So I got this top border done and I got the one side of the gate. So I got that done and that done. And that's it. But I didn't work on it very long. I am doing a few substitutions on this one. Again, because I didn't have all the DMC that it was asking for. So on her skin, where are we at? They have her skin as DMC 3774, but I didn't have that. So I subbed it for 3782 because that was the skin on her. So I just used the same skin. It's fine. I mean, it works. It looks good. So, and basically I'm trying to literally pull from one little stitcher and move it into the next with my flosses, move it to the next. And I pretty much could do that. There were a few things that overlapped. They also called for 3787, which I did not have. And I believe 3787 was the tombstone on the girl in blue. So I'm assuming, I think it's the tombstones also on Headless. So I switched it to Garden Gate. So then my tombstones will match. I mean, nobody's going to know. But I didn't have 3787. So it was a good substitution. And then the blood they have is DMC 355. But I fell in love with DMC 221 and bought a bunch of it when I was doing Elizabeth Bathory. It's what I did her dress in. It's what I did the blood in. It's my jam. It really matches really well with her blood splatter. So I did substitute the blood for DMC 221. And the only other substitution I did was called for DMC 611. Why can't I find it? And I just subbed it for 610. They're very, very close. So it'll be fine. It'll work. I mean, it's better than having to, I couldn't go to the store and all this. So, and I knew I wanted to get started. So I made substitutions. And I've got that big card of the DMC where it has the real floss on it to where so I pull out my Gast or Classic Colorworks or whatever, or my other DMCs. And then I just kind of compare it to do my substitutions so that I can find something a little close. So, yep. So I got a little bit of a start on her. That dress is going to be killer though. I mean, to be honest, this thing, I mean, it took forever. And I guess just because it's like you're doing the same stitches over and over again, so it didn't feel like it went very fast. But it felt like it took way longer. I thought the white border, but again, my trick with the white works just fine. So I don't have my white floss issues, and I know a lot of people are using the anchor and stuff like that. But so that was my new start. And then I still can't believe I don't have personal haul. Like, this is the first time. I mean, I have nothing. Not even, because I mean, we didn't go anywhere. It was ice and everything. So March Madness. Let's talk about March Madness. Okay, so I got a bracket from Steel City Stitchers, and I'm participating in their March Madness. And it's going to be hashtag SCS March Madness 2021. And I will, as I'm talking about this, I don't know. I think I was going to insert a picture, but I think you guys can see pretty good on this. So the way I'm doing this is I'm not trying to get, I know part of the purpose of this is to get an FFO out of it. Yeah, I'm not delusional. I'm not going to get an FFO out of anything that I have. So, my goal is, the way I'm going to do this is on March 1st, I'm going to work on the one project that is a whip. And then on the 2nd, I will work on a new start. And then I will put on Instagram both of those and let you guys choose what to vote. So then that way, whatever you guys pick will go here, and then the 3rd and the 4th will be another new start and a whip, and then it'll go here, blah, 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 further down until we narrow it down to one, and that's what I'll work on like the last couple weeks of the month. So I hope that made sense, because I mean, I'll be talking about it every week for at least 3 weeks anyways. So, but I wanted to talk about it before the 1st, because the 1st is like the day that my next Flosstube will go up. And so then I didn't want to be like, people take 4 or 5 days sometimes to get around, or to the next weekend to watch, since mine drop on Monday. So I want to make sure I gave y'all plenty of time to heads up on that, so that you guys can vote. Now, where I did this a little different is I let my husband pick them. And then I let him pick what start versus whip he wanted to go against each other. Now, I will say, he did not pick anything I would have picked. So it makes it interesting. They're all fine. Like, now, I didn't, for the new starts, I have my whole tote out there full of fully kitted or basically kitted, a lot of them just missing fabric, kitted projects out there for him to go through for the new starts. Because we would have been here for days if he was going through my notebooks and my iPad and all the places that I have all the patterns. So I thought it was just easier because especially with the weather and everything, I was like, well, I don't want to have to go out and try to, you know, procure stuff. So I thought it was just easier for him to pick my new starts from the tote of stuff I already had kitted up. So, and you also see from what he picked, there's no way in hell that I would get an FFO anyways. So, I don't know. All right, so for the first whip, this will be the one that I'll be working on March 1st. He picked project bag. He's such a boy. Let's just go ahead and say that now. It's June of the Real Housewives. It's the Trucking Along. And so when I asked him, I'll show y'all where I'm at. When I asked him why he picked this, and this is where I'm at. I'm just at the top. Whoop, whoop, whoop. At the top where the June's at. So I asked him, why did you pick that? And he said, because I thought you may actually have a chance to get it done before June. Knowing I started it before June of last year. So that was why he picked it. It was very interesting, his little story behind some of these. So that it will be, I'll stitch on that March 1st. And it goes up against Tribal Pig, which is in the Perfect Piggy bag. So, Tribal Pig, there you go. So, and it's by White Willow Stitching. This is like, I bought this forever ago. And I am going to do it in Vintage Lace by the Gentle Arts. So it's like a pink and a little like brownie color. The fabric that I have in here is Natural Rustic Ada. I don't know. That may change. We'll see. I don't know. I think that would look good with it. I know it may stay that way. We'll see. So those are the first two. So I'll be working on this one on March 2nd. Oh, wrong pile. Wrong pile. All right. So then on March 3rd, I'll be working. Telling you, crack me up. I'll be working on Needle Bling Designs Rear View Pumpkin. I mean, it's such a guy, right? It's another truck. So, this one was like the second project I started or something. And I had most of this side over here done. And all my X's were going different directions. And I had tried the sewing method and failed hard. And there was miscounts. And so I had ripped everything out and had put that much back in. Y'all, that's basically a new start. That's not a whip. So that's one that he picked. And I even showed him, I was like, babe, that's all I got done on it. He's like, nope, that's what I picked. And I'm like, and it's on parchment fabric flare. And I'm just like, okay. So that is what I'll be doing on March 3rd. And it's called 4 colors, I'm sure, because it was one of my first patterns. I didn't know you didn't have to do call 4 colors like an idiot. Yeah, I'm sure those are all the call for. So then the next, what he put against that for my whip, I got to get the fabric for this one. I haven't picked it out yet, which I have a like cart and a half full of fabric, so I'm sure I'll find something. Is the Witchy Stitcher Camp Crystal Lake. I am not doing it on a yellow, so. But those two are so different from each other. One's like, happy fall, y'all. And this one's like, I'll kill you, fool. So he picked this one because he wanted to give me something he knew I would enjoy working on. He picked the other one just because he liked the truck and whatever. But this one he picked because he knows me. So that was sweet. Like I said, I got to pull the fabric. So this one I'll be doing on 3/4, and it will be pitted up against the Rear View Pumpkin. So, not that I don't like the Rear View Pumpkin. It's really cute. It's just I have some like anxiety or stress about it because of all the frogging I had to do on it. Okay. And then this fool. God love him. Somebody's got to. March 5th. The whip he has me working on is my full coverage Snoopy. And I tried to explain to him the point of this was normally to do smaller things. And he's like, if you don't work on it, you ain't gonna. So, okay. So this is the one that I'm doing for his mother, which I joked will be ready for her 80th birthday. There's an up close to it. I mean, it's adorable. And she will die when she sees it. She will love it. I have just as much worked on it as last time I showed it when it was my new start. And it's that. Just green stitches. So, I will definitely be working on this at least one of the days, right? Oh, I got that folded wrong. So, I mean, he has a point. It's never going to get done if you don't work on it. And I only worked on it that one morning. And I haven't worked on it since. But just the... struggling. Every day I'm struggling. Because I'm not hustling. I'm struggling. The first page... and this is all called for colors. But the first page... I got most of the colors that was... no, it wasn't the first page. It was like the first big block area. I mean, it's a lot of green. Those are all different greens. Every bag is a different green. There's lots of green in my future. And then, boop, a blue. Oh, it's a lot of green. But you know what? It's okay because it changes up. At least it's not like 310 life. That you have on a lot of those patterns, full coverage. So, I mean, there's going to be some areas, because it's this area right there. So, it's a lot of green. I mean, I'll be in blue life here, but. So, he has that paired against, that's what I'm going to be stitching on March 5th. So, then March 6th, I will be stitching on an appropriate bag. Little House Needleworks, the Stitching Bee. How cute is that, though? Is that not so cute? So cute. So, this is what I'll be stitching on March 6th. And he has this paired up against Snoopy. I think my only issue with this is that I stole black coffee from it and put it in my Halloween Quaker. But that's no big deal. It looks like black coffee is possibly the border. Is that true? Yep. It's the border and the bees. Yeah. It's that border and then the bees' bodies. So it doesn't, and this is probably pretty small. Is that true? It's 59 by 59. So I probably can steal some of that black coffee back and be able to finish this with no problem. And then I can always attempt to get more black coffee. It's been on the, it's one of those that are hard to find right now, I think. And those are the only other colors in it right there. And it's Eggshell, Sassy Brass, and Pine Needles, all my classic colorworks. So he's got that pitted up against Snoopy. But at least I will get a start on this one. And it's, like I said, it's pretty small, so it'd be fun to work on. I've had it forever, kitted up. Except for I don't have fabric for it yet, but again, it's a pile out there. I'm fine on the fabric front. Okay, so then on March 7th, oh, little story about this one. So my dumbass, when I gave him all my whip tote bag pile and was like, yeah, just go through and pick them out. And so once he had picked all of them out, I flipped through and all I did was see an edge of a bag and went, F word. He's like, what? And I was like, well, that piece right there was supposed to be a surprise piece that you didn't know about because it's for our anniversary. So the fact that he picked out of 29, one that he picked, he only had to pick 4 out of 29. One of them is the anniversary. Y'all, that's funny. That's so funny. It's because we are synced. We are the same person. So for March 7th, I will be working on the When I Saw You. And you know, I did, because I showed this recently, I changed the colors. I'm not doing it monochromatic. I switched from the linen, which I still keep in here just because I can't let it go because it actually looks good, but that's not what I'm doing anymore. And I switched it to this Peddler's Blend. And that's all I have got on it. So, which I need to work on it anyways, but just so weird that he picked that. And here are my colors. So they're just all, I got green for the green stuff. I got this Dragonfly, which is like this coppery, it's hard to see because you can't see the blue part, but it looks patinaed. So the pot is going to be in that. And then I got the pink for like the hearts, or the heart. So, and possibly some of the little backgroundy things. And then the purple, that purple-ish, you can't tell that's purple, but that is purple, is going to be for like the flowers in the middle. So, and then the top and bottom border, that thick border, I think I'm doing in Carriage Black, which is like my all-time favorite color ever. So, yeah, this is just a mixture of classic colorworks and gassed. Like I said, I just grabbed stuff. So, made it my own. So that will be stitched on March 7th. And it's so weird. This last one's just weird. The last one he picked for my new start, he's like, it's cute. That's why I picked it. Why he had it fight this one was, I think, because then this one's definitely going to win. I just think that he wanted to push it forward. But he paired it against the Bent Creek Quaker Ghost. This little guy who's so stinking cute. I mean, he really is really cute. And I love that his little button eyes and the buttons are 2 different sizes. I know it doesn't look like that on there because it's optical illusion because the white around the small button. But yeah, so stinking cute. So he picked this to go against our anniversary piece. So, oh, what I got going on right there? Y'all know what to do. I don't even have to tell you, right? But I will at least get to work on this for a day, if not longer, depending on what y'all pick. Do the right Okay. And this is all in White Lightning, I think. Is it White Lightning? No, I lie. It is all whitewash. It's white. It don't matter. But Weeks whitewash. I don't know if I told y'all that I'm going to slowly phase out of carrying Weeks dye works in my shop. I've never been a huge fan of Weeks. I always, like, if it was the called for color, I bought it. Just not a huge fan of it. And then given things that happened recently, I'm just choosing to just not carry it. So what I'm going to start doing is phasing it out, and I'm gonna start bringing in Classic Colorworks because I feel like I do need 2 of the big staples. I will always have Gentle Arts, and eventually I will have all Gentle Arts when we hopefully get out of the pandemic and they can start producing the colors like normal. Because Gentle Arts is, like, out of the bigger widely known ones, is my favorite floss. We all know I love me some Fiberlicious as my, like, chick in a back room. Actually, I don't know, she probably has a whole shop, but I envision these women are, like, in their kitchen dying, just the way, like, I'm a one-man show for my shop. Yes, so all those, so I'll be stitching on something something different for that first 8 days. And then we will move on to the next round. So look for that on Instagram. If you follow me, you'll see it automatically. And of course, I will be using that hashtag. So if you just follow the hashtag, you'll see what people are, when they want you to vote on something. That hashtag again is SCS March Madness 2021. I'll put it down in the show notes so it's easy to look back and remember. And yeah, so it's gonna be something fun. I still haven't decided about Mania. Mania scares me. I mean, it just does. Maybe I need to watch different people, because I know everybody does something different where they do Mania where it's like a whip. And to be honest with you, going into May, the odds that I have 31 whips are probably high. So maybe I stitch on each day. I just stitch on a different whip to where I touched every one of my whips in May. Maybe something like that. No new starts. Although if I finish a little stitcher, there'll be a new start. But the way I stitch, though, if I'm stitching on one of those a day, that's all the stitching I'm going to be doing. I won't be doing any outside stitching. So yeah, and the only other thing, I will be doing some outside stitching in March. It'll be whatever I'm sure my the little stitcher pattern will be, because I'll probably be doing it during lunch, and then this will be done at nighttime. And then on the 17th, I do want to start the O'Malley's, the gobble couples that are the St. Patrick's Day from RETM. So I will start those on St. Patrick's Day, just because, Look, I'm even wearing, like, my March Madness shirt because it's green and my eyes is green, which nobody ever knows my eyes are green. Okay, so I don't want to lose that. Put that on top of the pile. Gotta keep that separate from everything because I don't want to get mixed up. Okay. So next is shop haul. And then after shop haul, before I get to Hot Mess Express, which my Hot Mess Express is really good. It's Clementine. It looks like Clementine, but it definitely says in Wikipedia in parentheses that it's Clementine Hunter. And she was a Black folk artist, and she has a very interesting story. So I wanted to do her for the Hot Mess Express because, and I have practiced, I cannot tell you how long to say Sheila. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Because I want to say Sheila. And her name's not Sheila. It's like Shelia. Y'all, I apologize. I try. And I listened over and over and over to listen to Gary say it and everything. But from the Sunshine Stitchers, Shelia. I'm so sorry. I'm butchering it. And I'm trying so hard. She actually has a pattern that they took one of her the art and turned it into a cross stitch pattern, and it was amazing. And I know she's working on it this month. And she told a little bit about the story. So I looked it up, and I definitely wanted to do it for Hot Mess Express. So that is coming. But between Shop Haul and Hot Mess Express, I will put in some snow videos of course, it's just Jasper because the cats obviously did not go outside in the snow. But if I have any cute little videos of them, I'll put them. So I'll have a little bit of some pet videos between Shop Haul and Hot Mess Express. So then you can go ahead and start fully stitching and stuff when you're, you don't have to look up. I mean, you can look up and look at my animals, but you know what I mean. It'll be a nice little segue into the Hot Mess Express. Okie dokie. So I'm going to start off with so when I ordered, and I guess this is kind of personal haul, but with XG Design, I went ahead and placed an order for some of her floss when I did that big fabric order. And she does not disappoint. So these are not silks, but these are the soft, I mean, I cannot tell you how soft they are. Oh, they smell good. So, yeah, I just smelled it. Sorry. It's Peacock Lilac. Yeah, look how beautiful. Oop, dropped one. I lost it. But look how pretty that is. And you guys, they are so soft. I haven't stitched with any of them yet. But unbelievably soft. So and they're hand dyed. So definitely do not wash, she says on there. But I bought a handful of these because I just want to I just wanted to just look at them, touch them, see them before I start carrying them. But I'm thinking about ordering some of these. I also have a big order from Fiberlicious. She's working on it. It'll be a few weeks before I get it. More floss, more fabric. Also, my Picture This Plus finally shipped from August. So I have that fabric coming in. Until they get caught up, I don't even know. I mean, once it sells out, I don't know how long it'll be before I place another order. Ooh. I don't know what that word was trying to be. Another order with them, just because, I mean, that tells me that they have to be 6 months or more behind still if they're just now working on August orders, and I don't know how they're going to be able to catch up. I hope they can hire more people. I feel terrible because I'm sure people are still placing orders because, there for so long they couldn't, well, between being shut down, I'm sure because of the pandemic and then the fabric shortage, it's just been a nightmare, I'm sure. So this is Capri Lagoon. You guys, how freaking gorgeous. Oh, it is so beautiful. So beautiful. So these are some very beautifully, now this one's not as variegated. I have a couple in here. So this is Chestnut Bark. How pretty. It's like a greeny blue. Greeny blue? No, it's a greeny brown. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. I got, it's because I'm trying to hurry without it making to look like I'm rushing. Because I will say one thing that I've noticed lately about watching Stitching with the Housewives, which I enjoy their videos, but I get anxiety because I feel like they are rushing so much. And I know they're trying to probably definitely get it in within an hour. Whereas I'm just like, it is what it is by the time I'm get done. Because I watch them and I feel like, I don't know, just like anxiety or out of breath. I don't know. I just feel like they're rushing. And then that puts that on me, which is not their fault. It's my own problems. So I'm trying to rush without rushing because I have two of my friends coming over this afternoon. We have been friends since the 6th grade. One of them just moved back to town. So I'm very, very excited. This one is called Deep Red. You guys, that is one sexy red. Oh, it's gorgeous. So beautiful. And then the last one is Harvest Autumn, and it's so pretty. Ugh. I can't wait to try these out. I don't know what I'm going to use them on, but I need something because I want to make sure that they are as good as they look and feel. Because I think I'm going to order more from her to have in the shop. And of course, some of these colors I'll probably order more because I only need like one skein of them. So these will probably end up in the shop. At least a few of them. But not this week. I did not take photos. Okay. That being said. All right. So, some of these I tried to see if they have dates on them because I think they're new, but I can't tell with this one. So if it's not brand new, I apologize. It's still new to me. It's new to my shop. But it is Lillys Studio, and it's LW 1884. And this is just a small section of a larger sampler. She basically took a sampler and kind of divided it up into different sections. And so here's Lily White 1884. So that's the other part of the sampler. So it's really pretty. Nice red sampler, as Brenda and Laura always say. Gotta have a nice, and I think even Carol, Salt Box Stitcher. It's always good to have a red sampler. This is Lindy Stitches, and it's Walk Fast sampler. And this is so funny. And I think yes, it's Rose of Golden Girls provided this wise proverb. I was about to say it sounded like something that Rose would say. And in fact, it on the back is absolutely done. Says it. So what it says is, it's like that old Scandinavian saying, you can lead a herring to water, but you have to walk fast or he'll die. So it's so funny. I love it. And I'm gearing up, ready for Needlework Expo. There's so many nice things designers have. So it's going to be hard because I want like all of the things, but have to be in moderation. Don't go completely bananas. Tiny Modernist. This is the Zodiac Signs. It's a 13-part mystery series. This is part 2, which is Pisces. And the border is on their website. And then we have the Bee Cottage. And this is a lavender bee sachet. It's not really how you say it. I think that's how you say it. Anyways, y'all don't care about how you say it. You just want to see it. So it's so cute. And it comes with a little bit of blingity bling. And it's what's in these little corners right here. And then we have Madame Chantilly. It's Seasons in the Jar. How cute are those? Like, those would be so cute done separately. To put them out on the same frame. And just swap them out. And then we have, don't go nowhere, Madame Chantilly Winter. And it's another one of her trays. I love it. That fox. Look at that owl up there in the cotton. Oh, it's so cute. And these are just, they're huge. They are big. They don't look like they are, but they are. So just know that. It is a large piece. And then I got Lillys Studio's Mary Taylor Sackney 1828 reproduction sampler. How gorgeous is that? It is so pretty. And then I got Twin Peak Primitives Stitching Spring. Love it. A little beehive. Whoops, beehive on that spool. And then we've got, oh, there's a cat on this spool here. And there's a nest with birds. And I have no idea what is going on with that other one. It looks like a nest also. And it looks like it's got some ants crawling up it. But I'm not 100% sure. Because those look like little nuns. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they're birds. I don't know. But then they got the little bugs crawling up it. So, but super cute. And then, so this is from last year, but as soon as I saw it, I had to have it because I'm that person that likes the weird. It's called Easter Rooster. And who the hell does not need a rooster riding a bicycle carrying Easter eggs? I'm just saying, he's doing his part. It is so, and that is a majestic looking rooster. I mean, like, he looks good. Yeah, this will be stitched one day. It may not be this year. But one day I am stitching that because I love it. And then another one by Twin Peak Primitives, and it's Stitching Freedom. I love it with the spools. It's great. And that is it for the shop haul. And those will all be, well, they'll be in the shop tonight. And of course, y'all will see this. I don't know. You may get this tonight. You may get it Monday. Just depends on how fast the editing goes. Because the only thing I'm going to have to add to the editing is videos. And then the best thing to do, so if I do something crazy like this, then when I'm scrolling through, I know where to stop and pause. Just so I don't have to watch it an hour first before I get to it. Okay.
What is it? Something stuck to your tail?
I'll just say that.
Need Mama get it?
I'm trying, and hopefully by the next time, I'll be in
Is something stuck to your tail?
I can't say happy mode, but I'll be in a better place in terms of coping and acceptance.
He's running all those zoomies. What are you doing? Not, leave your coat on. Leave your coat on. Leave your coat on. Quit. 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 Quit trying to get me. Go zoomy. Go zoomy. Let's go zoomy. Go zoomy. Are you zooming? Oh, shit. And the zoomies. And the zoomies. He's gonna make me dizzy. Coming in hot. Oh, you made Mama dizzy. Leave Jackie alone. You breathing heavy. Oh. You all right? Get snow? You all right, buddy? I know. You having fun? Buddy's had enough of his coat. Leave your coat alone. My bucking Bronco. He's not wanting his coat on. See? That's what you get.
So y'all like those videos of the babies? All my little babies. Let me take a little sip of something here. We're Dr. Perky today. My stomach is growling because I am hungry, because they are coming in an hour and bringing food. So my stomach is just growling so hard. I'm trying not to eat anything until I get here because we're getting some Asian food. I got some crab wontons coming, and I got some chicken fried rice coming. I almost got pineapple lo mein because I'm curious. But this place is like a fusion place, and so like when they do their General Tso's chicken or General Tao's chicken or however you say it, or General Tso's chicken, I think it's General Tso's chicken. Now that I think about it, it's one of my favorites. They put diced red bell peppers and green bell peppers in it. That's not okay. They were large enough hunks that I could pull them out last time. So I'm just a little nervous about the pineapple lo mein because I feel like that sounds like something somebody would be trying to put some bell pepper in with, like some red bell pepper with some pineapple. I just can't do bell peppers. So, so I did not go with the pineapple lo mein. Not that y'all care at all, but also wanted to say there's not a giveaway this week. There'll be one next week, but not this week. And then the hubby will be doing the Q&A, not next week, but the week after. So it will be like March 7th, I think, when we'll do Q&A with him. Yeah, so he busy today. Okay, so let's get Miss Clementine Hunter going. All right, so Hot Mess Express story time. Here we go. And I'm gonna try really hard not to say Clementine, because that's how it looks and that's how we normally say it. But it says pronounced Clementine, so I'm gonna try really hard to do it correctly, because I want to show her the respect she deserves. Clementine Hunter was a self-taught Black folk artist from the Cane River region of Louisiana who lived and worked on Melrose Plantation. Hunter was born into a Louisiana Creole family at Hidden Hill Plantation near Clouderville in Natchitoches Parish, Louisiana. She started working as a farm laborer when young and never learned to read or write. In her 50s, she began to sell her paintings, which soon gained local and national attention for their complexity in depicting Black Southern life in the early 20th century. Initially, she sold her first paintings for as little as 25 cents, but by the end of her life, her work was being exhibited in museums and sold by dealers for thousands of dollars. I mean, how amazing is that? When you start off 25 cents, and now thousands. I love it. Clementine Hunter produced an estimated 5,000 to 10,000 paintings in her lifetime. Hunter was granted an honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree by Northwestern State University of Louisiana in 1986, and she is the first African-American artist to have a solo exhibition at the present-day New Orleans Museum of Art. In 2013, director Robert Wilson presented a new opera about her entitled Zinnias, The Life of Clementine Hunter at Montclair State University in New Jersey. Her early life. Clementine Hunter was born in late December 1886 or early January 1887 at Hidden Hill Plantation near Clouderville in Natchitoches Parish, Louisiana. She was the first of 7 children born to Genevieve Reuben, though Clementine Hunter called him John, and Mary Antoinette Adams. Hunter's siblings were named Maria, Ida, Rosa, Edward, Simon, and John. Hunter's maternal grandmother, Idala, an enslaved Black and Native American woman, was born in Virginia and brought to Louisiana. Her maternal grandfather was called Billy Zach Adams. Hunter's paternal grandfather, who was a mixed African, French, and Irish descent, traded horses during the Civil War, but died before she was born. Hunter knew her paternal grandmother well, a Black and Native American woman who she called May May. Her parents were married in October 15th, 1890 in Clouderville at the Catholic Church St. John the Baptist. She was baptized Roman Catholic on March 19th, 1887 in Clouderville, and is known that she was about 3 months old. Although her exact date of birth is unknown, she said she was born around Christmas. She went by the name Clemis for the first part of her life and baptized Clementine, I'm not sure, and changed her name to Clementine after moving to Melrose Plantation. Her family called her by her nickname Tabby, the French, I could be saying that really wrong because it's the French word for little baby, a nickname she carried into adulthood. Hunter moved at Clouderville when she was around 5 years old and sent to St. John the Baptist Catholic Church School. The school was segregated and enforced harsh rules, which Hunter cited as the reason she left school at an early age. She attended school for less than a year and never formally learned to read or write. Hunter began working in the fields at 8 years old, picking cotton alongside her father. Throughout her life, she moved around the Cane River Valley while her father looked for work. At certain points, she lived in Robeline, Cyprus, and Alexandria. In 1902, around the age of 15, Hunter moved to Melrose Plantation. Hunter's father, John Reuben, was hired as a wage laborer by John H. Henry, the current owner of Melrose. Hunter also worked for a wage as an agricultural laborer, harvesting 150 to 200 pounds of cotton a day, making 75 cents. In the fall, she would also harvest pecans, working 6 days, and yes, I say pecans, I don't say pecans. Although most people in Louisiana say pecans, but my family lives in North Florida and South Georgia, and they call them pecans, and that's where there's lots of pecan trees. So, and I feel like Louisiana probably put a French spin on it with their pecan trees, but it's pecans. In the fall, she would harvest pecans, working 6 days a week for months of the year. While in her teens, Hunter took informal classes at night and other workers at Melrose Plantation. At Melrose Plantation. Her mother, Mary Antoinette Reuben, died in 1905 at Melrose. When Hunter was about 20, in 1907, she gave birth to her first child, Joseph Dupree, called Frenchie. I love nicknames. Hunter's first partner was Charles Dupree, a Creole man about 15 years Hunter's senior. Charles is rumored to have built a steam engine with having only seen a picture, and was well known for his highly skilled labor. Their second child, Cora, was born a few years later. Charles Dupree and Clementine Hunter never married, and Dupree died in 1914. In 1924, Clementine married Emmanuel Hunter, a Creole woodchopper at Melrose, 6 years her senior. Until Clementine Hunter married Emmanuel, she spoke only Creole French, and he taught her American English. The two lived together in a worker's cabin at Melrose Plantation and had 5 children. Y'all, Melrose Plantation, or Melrose, is almost a drinking game in this. It is literally in these last few sentences, I've said it 7 times. The two lived together in worker's cabin at Melrose Plantation and had 5 children, although 2 were stillborn. Hunter's children were named Agnes, King, and Mary, although she called Mary Jackie. On the morning before giving birth to one of her children, she harvested 78 pounds of cotton, went home, and called for the midwife. She was back working a few days later. Woo! In late 1920s, Hunter began working as cook and housekeeper for Cammie Henry, the wife of John H. Henry. She was known for her talent adapting traditional Creole recipes, sewing intricate cloths, clothes, and dolls, and tending to the house's vegetable garden. Before long, Melrose evolved into a salon for artists and writers in this period, hosted by Cammie Henry. In the late 1930s, Clementine Hunter began to formally paint using discarded tubes from the visiting artist at Melrose. In the early 1940s, Hunter's husband, Emmanuel, became terminally ill and bedridden. She was now the sole financial provider for the family, working full-time while caring for Emmanuel and painting late at night. Emmanuel died in 1944, leaving Hunter to work and care for her children alone. During this period, in the early 1940s, Hunter adopted Mary Frances LeCoeur, an 11-year-old girl whose parents couldn't care for her. Hunter cared for the girl, teaching her how to paint, the two displaying her creations outside of Hunter's home. In her teens, Mary Frances moved to California to live with her father. In 1951, Mary Frances died at less than 20 years old. That's sad. So it's going to talk about, next is her painting career, but I want to show this mural that she did called Baptism. And if that is not just breathtaking, it's amazing. It's just amazing. I wish this picture was in color. But either way, breathtaking. Okay, her painting career. Hunter has become one of the most well-known self-taught artists. Hunter is described as a memory painter because she documented Black Southern life in the Cane River Valley in the early 20th century. She was entirely self-taught and received almost no formal education, art or otherwise. Although she was first recognized for her painting skills in 1939, Hunter speaks about painting long before then. Her most famous work depicts brightly colored depictions of important events like funerals, baptisms, and weddings, and scenes of plantation labor like picking cotton or pecans and domestic labor. However, Hunter's paintings vary in subject and style, including many abstract paintings and a still life painting of zinnias. Hunter painted from memory, stating, "I just get it in my mind and I just go and paint, but I can't look at nothing and paint. No trees, no nothing. I just make my own tree in my mind and that's the way I paint." Cammie Henry created an artist colony after the death of her husband at Melrose Plantation. Numerous artists and writers visited, including Lyle Saxon, Rourke Bradford, Alexander Woolcott, Rose Franken, Gwen Bristow, and Richard Avedon. Frequently, the paint and brushes left by the New Orleans artist Alberta Kinsey are cited as the first materials Hunter used to paint with on a window shade. However, it's clear from Hunter's textile work that she was producing narrative and expressionist work before painting. Additionally, Hunter's own accounts of her early career contradict the story of Kinsey's influence. Hunter has spoken about paintings earlier than 1939. Hunter began selling paintings after the death of her husband, Emmanuel Hunter. On the outside of the cabin where she lived was a sign that read, "Clementine Hunter, artist, 25 cents to look." Clementine Hunter's first shows were in 1945 in Rosenwald Grant, Brownwood, and Waco, Texas. In 1949, a show of Hunter's paintings at the New Orleans Arts and Crafts Show garnered attention outside of the Cane River Valley. An article was published about Hunter in Look magazine in June 1953, giving her national exposure. Hunter gained support from numerous individuals associated with Melrose Plantation, including Francois Mignon, a friend of Cammie Henry and Clementine Hunter. He supplied her with paint and materials and promoted her widely. Hunter's paintings were displayed in the local drugstore where they were sold for $1. In 1956, Hunter and Francois Mignon co-authored Melrose Plantation Cookbook, featuring photographs of Melrose Plantation, illustrations drawn by Hunter, and recipes. Hunter was skilled at reinterpreting traditional dishes, which were passed down to her family by oral tradition. Hunter's largest work is a series of murals in the African House at Melrose Plantation. Built the early 19th century by enslaved people at Melrose Plantation, the African House is a Creole hybridization of various African, French, Native American building traditions. However, little is known about its construction and early uses. However, it is known that it served as a storehouse and during Cammie Henry's ownership as the resident for artist. In 1949, Clementine Hunter's first show in the Cane River Valley was hosted by Mignon in the upstairs area of the African House. Hunter painted murals of the Yucca House and the main Melrose Plantation House. In 1955, Hunter and Francois Mignon collaborated to produce the series of paneled murals that depicted the history of the Cane River Valley and reflect the artist's life. The murals consisted of 9 rectangular panels, each painted in Hunter's home studio. Completed over 3 months, the murals were finished. Hunter was 68 years old. Hunter's paintings changed throughout her lifetime. Her early works, such as Cane River Baptism from 1950, featured more earth tones and muted colors. Before the patronage of support from Francois Mignon and others, Hunter used paint left by visiting artists at Melrose Plantation. I tell y'all, Melrose Plantation is a drinking game. It doesn't sound like she's been anywhere for long periods of time other than Melrose Plantation, so why it keeps feeling like it has to say it over and over again is like a little redundant. Therefore, she was working with another artist's palettes. Additionally, Hunter would frequently thin out her supplies of paint with turpentine, creating more of a watercolor effect, which caused many Hunter scholars to believe she had a watercolor experimental phase. It's probably because she wanted to make them go further. That's my opinion. They're not cheap. She's getting hand-me-downs, or leftovers, really. Not even hand-me-downs, they're leftovers. Beginning in the 1950s, her painting style was altered by arthritis in her hands. From this period on, she leaned more towards abstract and impressionist work with less fine detail because it was difficult for her to paint. So sad. In 1962, her friend James Pipe Register encouraged her to become even more abstract, painting works like Clementine Makes a Quilt. However, by 1964, Hunter returned to more narrative works. In the 1980s, as she approached 100 years old, she began painting on smaller, more handheld objects like jugs. In late 1971, 60 of Hunter's paintings were shown as an exhibit at Louisiana State University. I'm going to pick on, this is called The Wash. And this is the one that Shelia has the cross-stitch pattern of, I believe. Oh, those bright, bright colors. So pretty. Love those long johns hanging there. All right, get back to where I was. Quilt making. Hunter lived in communities of black sharecroppers and tenant farmers where she learned to sew clothes and household items. Before she began painting, she would sew clothes for family, would make quilts, weave baskets. Francois Mignon recognized Hunter's talent for fabric and sewing before he saw any of her painted works. On December 19th, 1939, Mignon recorded in his journals that Clementine, Mignon called her Clements, first showed him dolls she created with embroidery features. Additionally, he wrote that she was exceptionally talented at making fringe and can spin cotton. James Register also recorded Clementine Hunter's exceptional skill at making fringe in an article in the Natchitoches, remember, I don't know that name, Times, in 1972. She could also make hand-tied lace curtains. Hunter's quilts and tapestries are clear examples of her artistic talent before she began painting, and featured subjects and her color palette that are central to the majority of her artwork. Many of her quilts are titled Melrose Quilt or Melrose Plantation, Textile, or Tapestry, as many of them depict buildings on the Melrose ground. The Melrose Plantation Textile, which is hand appliqued and sewn, is from 1938 or 1939 and is thematically similar to her painted works. Most of the Hunter's textile work is owned in private collections. However, a photograph of Hunter in her home shows her using one of her chevrons on a couch as a couch covering. Each square is hand sewn together. Many of Hunter's quilts are not batted, which signals that they were designed to hang as a tapestry rather than serve as a household function. Hunter made several quilts that are more abstract. One chevron quilt is at the New Orleans Museum of Art. Some of the squares of chevron are alternating solid colors, while other squares are pieces of scrap pattern cloth. Although Hunter's abstract paintings made in 1962 and 1936 are generally regarded as a break in her canon, her early textile work and paintings play with abstract and impressionism. Additionally, Shelby Gilley's collection of Hunter's crazy quilts, or chevron quilts, are dated as 1960, and the chevron quilt at the New Orleans Museum of Art is dated 1951, before her collaboration with James Register. So she was already doing abstract type stuff. It was just within her quilts. So it really wasn't a break in her canon, just something else that she enjoyed. Legacy and honors. A director of Museum of American Folk Art in Washington, D.C. described Hunter as the most celebrated of all Southern contemporary painters. Hunter was the first African-American artist to have a solo exhibit at the Delgado Museum, now the New Orleans Museum of Art. In February 1985, the museum hosted a New Orleans salute to Clementine Hunter's centennial, an exhibit in honor of her 100th birthday. She achieved significant recognition during her lifetime, including an invitation to the White House from U.S. President Jimmy Carter, and letters from both President Ronald Reagan and U.S. Senator J. Bennett Johnson, Jr. Radcliffe College included Hunter in its Black Women Oral History Project, published in 1980. An interview with Hunter is part of the Black Women Oral History Project records, 1976 to 1997, housed at Harvard University, Radcliffe Institute, it's a library. In the Mildred H. Bailey collection of interviews at Northwestern State University of Louisiana, there are digitized interviews with Hunter and those closest to her. Northwestern State University of Louisiana granted her an honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree in 1986. The following year, Louisiana Governor Edwin Edwards designated her as an honorary colonel, a state honor, and aide-de-camp. A biography, Clementine Hunter, Cane River Artist, was co-written by Tom Whitehead, a retired journalist professor who knew Hunter well. Hunter has been the subject of biographies and artist studies and inspired other work of art. In 2013, composer Robert Wilson presented a new opera about her, Zinnias, The Life of Clementine Hunter, at Montclair State University in New Jersey. Shinnery Jackson, one-woman musical, Ain't I a Woman, honors the lives of 4 influential African-American women, including Hunter. Hunter's works can be found in numerous museums, such as the Dallas Museum of Fine Art, the American Folk Art Museum, Minneapolis Institute of Arts, the Ogden Museum of Southern Art, the New Orleans Museum of Art, and Louisiana State Museum. Clementine Hunter's World is a 2017 documentary directed by noted Hunter scholar Art Shiver, probably. The film celebrates Hunter's life and artwork through the lens of photographs, oral history, and the newly resorted African house murals. In addition to the film, the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture created an exhibition centering on Hunter called Clementine Hunter, Life on Melrose Plantation. According to Smithsonian American art curator Tuluza Fleming, the 22 works by Hunter is the largest collection by a single artist at the museum. That's kind of cool. In 2019, Louisiana State Legislature passed a resolution that designated October 1st as Clementine Hunter Day. Loletta Jones Widener, the director of the Creole Heritage Center in Northwestern State University, Louisiana, created the resolution to honor Hunter's legacy and impact on the state of Louisiana. That's awesome. All right, and this last little bit is forgeries. As Hunter became increasingly more famous over her lifetime and began selling her painted works for more money, forged paintings started becoming a problem. Relatives of Clementine Hunter and Cammie Henry created forgeries, although very few. Although there were many Hunter fakes, William and Beryl Toe were the most prolific. In 1974, William J. Toy was charged with forging 22 Hunter paintings by the New Orleans police. Toy was able to pass these paintings off as Hunter originals because he recreated her distinctive signature, a backward C and an H interlocking. William Toy's wife, Beryl, claimed that she purchased the paintings directly from Hunter at Melrose Plantation in the 1960s. Toy's case never went to trial despite verification from Hunter herself that she had not painted the works. In 1996, Toy was accused of forging Matisse and Degas paintings, selling them to an auction house in Baton Rouge. Toy likely began forging Hunter paintings again in 1999, selling them or using them as a form of payment for doctor's bills as a collateral for a bank loan until the mid-2000s. Toy sold many of his fakes to New Orleans art and antique dealer Robert Lucky Jr. Lucky intentionally lied to his customers about the origins of 50 to 100 Hunter paintings, reselling paintings that were returned as fakes. In 2000, Robert Lucky Jr. took payment for a Hunter painting that he never gave to the customer and was charged and arrested. Some noted Hunter collections caught on his scheme, such as Robert Ryan, who returned some paintings bought from Lucky, demanding a refund. Shelby Gilley and Tom Whitehead, scholar collectors and friends of Hunter, also figured out that the bulk of Hunter fakes were coming from Lucky, leading them to open an investigation. Whitehead had bought a total of 17 fake Clementine Hunter paintings from Lucky, spending a total of $55,000. In 2005, Tom Whitehead, Shelby Gilley, and Jack Britton hired Frank Pursuer, an art authentication expert, to investigate these forgeries. Pursuer analyzed the materials used in the paintings in question, compared to those sold by Lucky, and determined that they were, in fact, inconsistent materials. The investigation uncovered paintings sold by William Toy, which were consistent with the fakes sold by Robert Lucky Jr., as Toy began selling the fakes directly to buyers in 2005. At that time, Beryl Toy was selling Hunter fakes for $3,500 a painting at a New Orleans auction house. In 2009, FBI Special Agent Randolph Deaton assembled a team of noted art authentication experts to begin a formal investigation into the forgeries. The team included Joseph Barabee of McCrone Associates, a scientific analyst company, and James Martin, a forensic art expert of Orion Analytical. The group used several methods to analyze Hunter's original works to compare to the alleged forgeries, including an analysis of sorry. It's because I'm hungry. Like, I start getting tired. Like, my whole body just starts shutting down. Including an analysis of pigment cracks, paint age, painting style. However, one of the most important clues that a painting was a Hunter original were her fingerprints on the back of the oil paintings. Hunter did not use an easel, so the backs and borders of her paintings were smudged with paint, unlike the forgery by Toy, who used an easel to paint his fakes. I love something so simple as she didn't have no money to have no easel, so she was holding it while she was doing it. And I love that that's how they're able to find out what's fake and not. In September 2009, the FBI determined that William Toy was the one producing the forgeries and raided his home. Toy who was accused of selling forged painting 3 times over the course of 4 decades, pleaded guilty in federal court on June 6, 2011. The couple were charged with mail fraud and conspiracy to commit mail fraud. The price for Hunter paintings ranged between a few $1,000s to $20,000, according to Tom Whitehead. Both William and Beryl Toy were sentenced to 2 years probation and a $426,393 fine for the cost of the fakes sold. Robert Lucky Jr. was charged with mail fraud and pled guilty, was sentenced to 25 months in prison and a $326,893 fine. The investigation was crucial to protecting Hunter's legacy, as many of the fakes were shown in museums and private collections around the world. Additionally, very few FBI forgery cases investigate folk artists or outsider artists. And so this case helped to legitimize the value of self-taught artists. Isn't that awesome? That was a really good. And I don't think it was too hot, messy, expressy. I think I did pretty good. I flubbed up a couple things, but all in all, I think I did good. I can't find my power button. I've literally forgot how things work. Okay, there we go. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you learned something. I do know that the cross stitch pattern is very difficult to find. I think they're selling for outrageous if you can't find it on eBay. So that sucks, but who knows? You may find one in a D-stash somewhere or a garage sale, and people don't know how amazing the artist was that the cross stitch was based off of. So this concludes this time. We are only at an hour and a half. Holy moly, how did I do it? Oh, personal haul. That's how I did it. There was no haul. I hope everybody has a wonderful stitchy week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.